Good day anime lovers, in today's top 10 anime content we're counting down the top anime, where Overpowered transfer student is feared by everyone. If you are new to this channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more anime content. So without further ado, let's get started. In the dawn of the 21st century, magic, long thought to be folklore and fairy tales, has become a systematized technology and is taught as a technical skill. In first high school, the institution for magicians, students are segregated into two groups based on their entrance exam scores. Blooms, those who receive high scores, are assigned to the first course, while weeds are reserve students assigned to the second course. Mahouka Kauku no Redise follows the siblings, Tetsuya and Miyuki Shiba, who are enrolled in first high school. Upon taking the exam, the prodigious Miyuki is placed in the first course, while Tetsuya is relegated to the second course. Though his practical test scores and status as a weed show him to be magically inept, he possesses extraordinary technical knowledge, physical combat capabilities, and unique magic techniques, making Tetsuya the irregular at a magical high school. Dreaming of changing the world for good, Akudo Sai transfers to Constant Magic Academy, where he befriends a virtuous ninja clan member, Junko Hattori. On the way to the academy, they vow to make the world a better place together. However, the situation suddenly takes a turn for the worse upon his arrival. It is prophesied that he will become the Demon King. As word of his destiny spreads, the school begins to fear him, and Junko's trust in him falters. While Akudo is determined to not let his predicted future control his fate, it seems as though everything he says and does only serve to reinforce the fact that he is destined to be the Demon King. Moreover, he is surrounded by a harem of beautiful girls who each have their own plans for him, ranging from bringing him to justice to simply showering him with love. With his newly awakened powers, Akudo must cope with his constantly growing list of misfortune and fight to prove that his fate is not set in stone. The private Aichi Symbiosis Academy was originally a high school for high-class girls. When it became co-ed, the girls, out of fear, asked to be permitted to bring weapons to school. When that was enforced, a 5-member vigilante corps-like organization called the Supreme Five Swords was also formed. After many generations, the Five Swords eventually became a group which corrected problematic students, and the academy started proactively accepting such students in order to correct them. Nomura Fudu was sent to this school after being part of a huge brawl. What will he do when the only options he has after enrolling are being expelled from that school or being corrected the way the rest of the male students there were, by being forced to dress and act like a girl? The aloof high schooler Mo Fan has found himself in a universe similar yet distinctly different from his own mundane one. It's a place where magic has replaced the essence of science. Here, the most capable students are taught to master the wonders of spellworking, to fend off large devastating beasts that lurk in the forests surrounding the city. Like his previous life, Mo Fan remains the son of a poor laborer and the older step-brother to a crippled sister. Despite these disadvantages, he dreams of attending a magic school to become a magician, a highly respected and lucrative trade, in order to repay his father for his hard work. Mo Fan is accepted into a renowned magic institution. However, rumors spread about his poverty and lack of magical ability, labeling him as the laughingstock of the school. Nonetheless, Mo Fan manages to harness not only the powerful fire element, but also the rare lightning element. Now armed with dual abilities, what dangerous encounters will the versatile mage face? As a cultivation genius who has achieved a new realm every 2 years, since he was a year old, Wang Ling is a near invincible existence with prowess far beyond his control. But now that he's 16, he faces his greatest battle yet, senior high school. With one challenge after another popping up, his plans for a low-key high school life seem further and further away. While on the surface Yu Otasaka appears to be just another charming and intelligent teenager, he has a secret. He has the ability to slip into people's minds and fully control their body for 5 seconds at a time. Yu has been using this skill for years to gain the highest grades, which allowed him to enter a prestigious high school. When the enigmatic Naotomori catches Yu using his power, she coerces him and his sister Ayumi into transferring to Hashinaomi Academy, a school for students with supernatural abilities. The student council of the school, led by Nao, is tasked with secretly tracking down adolescents who abuse their powers. Yu is forced to join the student council, and together, they face formidable challenges that bring him closer to the shocking truth that his own, seemingly incomplete ability might be more powerful than he could have ever imagined. In the 71st year of the True Era, humans have successfully expanded into space and have started living in independent galactic colonies. The world itself is split between two major nations, the Atlantic Rim United States, Rus, and the Dorsha Military Pact Federation, Dorsha, superpowers that wage war against each other on Earth and far into outer space. In this war-torn era, a third faction comprised of Japan and islands of the Asenian Republic, GIR, reside peacefully and prosper economically, maintaining neutrality between themselves and their militant neighbors. Kakimiki Valvrov commences in an outer space GIR colony, where 17-year-old Haruto Takashima's peaceful life is turned upside down as a sudden Dorshan fleet breaches the neutral colony. Their objective is to seize the Valvrov's powerful but rumored mechanized weapons hidden deep within Haruto's school, Sakamori Academy. In the ensuing chaos, Haruto stumbles upon one of the targeted Valvrovs. With his friends' lives in peril, Haruto enters the mecha and seals a contract for its power in exchange for his humanity. With the aid of Elf, an enigmatic Dorshan agent and gifted strategist, Haruto and the Valvrov initiate a revolution to liberate the world. I'm alone, Although cheerful and delicate, Sakura Kauji is a skilled martial artist with a sense of fairness that never falters, no matter the situation. Upon witnessing people burning in blue flames while on a bus ride home, she calls the police to bring their murderer to justice only to find that no evidence remains. However, all her doubts about what she saw vanish when the next day, the new transfer student Rei Yagami joins her class. He is the very boy she watched commit murder in cold blood. Rei is kind, sweet, and quickly becomes popular, contradicting Sakura's accusations. Soon enough, she learns his true nature, a code breaker, or one who does not exist. To Sakura's shock, Rei, armed with mysterious powers, seeks to exact justice according to the principle of an eye for an eye. Determined to bring Rei to the right path, Sakura keeps close to him in the hopes of redeeming him from his ways before others are hurt. Since the discovery of Saiman syndrome 30 years ago, thousands of young people have traveled to fantasy worlds, the few returnees managing to keep the special abilities they acquired in those parallel universes. Akatsuki Asawa, known as the rogue hero, discards his peaceful life in the fantasy world Alazared to face new challenges upon returning to Earth. He comes back with Mew, the daughter of the demon king he defeated, and is now forced to hide her true identity by having her pose as his little sister. The two soon join Babel, a special school designed for those who have acquired special abilities and magical powers through their journey to a fantasy world. Babel was seemingly founded to train young interdimensional travelers and guide them to the right path for the sake of humanity and themselves, but its true purpose remains unclear to the pseudo-siblings. Will Akatsuki and Mew be able to overcome the hostile, powerful student council and uncover the forces at play behind the scenes? The ordinary life of 17-year-old Ataku Hajime Nagumo is disrupted when he and his classmates are summoned to a fantasy world and tasked with saving mankind. While his classmates are gifted with impressive abilities useful in combat, Hajime is belittled for only gaining an inferior transmutation skill that lacks any real offensive power. During an expedition in the Great Orcus Labyrinth, Hajime is betrayed by one of his classmates, plummeting him to the bottom of an abyss. Though he survives the fall, Hajime is faced with menacing monsters and misfortunes that send him spiraling into a grim nightmare. Desperate to live and return home one day, he resolves to fight for his survival, only to meet an imprisoned vampire he names Yu, who is also seeking to escape the labyrinth. Taking an interest in him, you and a few others along the way accompany Hajim on his journey to find a way back home while steadily transforming from commonplace to the world's strongest.